Today is Thursday, April 29th. Please study your flashcards every day. We are reviewing the concept of finding the area of triangles today. This is chapter 9, lesson 7. Please actually open your book and look at examples for more support if you can't reach me for help. Okay. This information talks to you about triangles and the area formula for triangles, which is 1/2 times base times height. There's also more information about the different types of triangles. And this particular video shows you why the formula for 1/2 base times height works. When we're finding the area of triangles, we have to remember how to find the area of a rectangle or parallelogram. If you'll notice, we have a model of a triangle in this gizmo animation. What I'm going to do is show you the relationship between triangles and parallelograms. If you make a second congruent triangle and put the two together, you're going to notice that it makes a parallelogram. And what we discovered about parallelograms is we find their area by multiplying base times height. We can do that because they are related to rectangles and the concept of multiplying by length times width. So if you'll notice, if I show the grid here are the square units. It would be a little awkward to count the squares because some of them are only partial squares, but we don't have to do that. We have to just use the formula. So if I show base times height, you'll notice the height here is 6 based on the grid, and the base is 7. So we're going to multiply 6 times 7, but because it's only half of this parallelogram, we're going to divide that by 2. So we can do 6 times 7 divided by 2, or we can use the formula 6 times 7 times 1/2, which is exactly the same thing. Okay, so that's the gist of why that works, so that makes sense. 1/2 of base times height would be that triangle that we originally trying to find the area for. So this is, again, the two ways we can solve this is 1/2 times base times height, or base times height divided by 2, and that line disappeared somehow, some way. There are 2 examples of how to do this, and all you have to do, read through the information about how to solve this particular area problem. You can watch the video for more support. Same thing. There's another one over here. Watch the video for more support. Third example of if you're given the height and the area of something, but you're not given the base, you can actually find the base by writing the algebra problem. So area, which is 285, is equal to 1/2. So if you're not quite sure how to solve this problem, then this video explanation will show you how to get the answer. Essentially, we're going to be doing more of the same kind of thing that we've been doing for the last several months, starting in December, and isolating the variable using inverse operations. Okay, so don't forget you can do extra credit by going to Imagine Math and working on that a little bit each day, or Imagine Math Facts will also get you extra credit. Let's do some examples together, please. Okay, if you go to your book and open it up to page 740, you're going to see more information about how to solve area of a triangle problems. Essentially, just putting in the information that you're given into the 1/2 base times height formula. So this is an example done for you. Here's another example done for you as well. Now, don't forget, and actually the answers for these are over here as well. If they don't give you the numbers, you can actually count the squares. So 1/2 of the base, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1/2 times 6 is 3. So basically, when you multiply by 1/2, you're just dividing by 2. So 3 times the height, 1, 2, 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Right there. Boom. Okay. Let's do a missing dimension problem together. It's a little bit more challenging. So for missing dimension problems, you're basically setting up an algebra problem, and they've done this one for you right here. area is equal to base times height divided by 2. So if you're given the height but not the base, we can put the height in here, base times 6 divided by 2. And they just kind of walk through the steps here, and you basically keep using inverse operations till you solve for the variable. Okay. We're going to do one of these problems down here, and I'm going to go ahead and choose the more challenging one, which is the fraction one, because we tend to struggle with fractions. Now, we are given the area, and that area is 78 1/8 square yards. That's going to be equal to 1/2 base times height, and the base is 12. So it's 1/2 base, and the base is 12 1/2 times height, h. Okay, so if you'll notice, we have mixed numbers here that we need to turn into improper fractions before we go any further. So what is 78 1/8 as an improper fraction? Go ahead and solve that for me, please. Okay, 78 times 8 is 624, so then we're going to add the 1, so 625/8 will be the area as an improper fraction. And then we have times 1/2, and we need to make the 12 1/2 as an improper fraction. So 12 times 2 plus 1. Answer that for me, please. 12 times 2 is 24, plus 1 is 25, so we're going to go ahead and write 25/2 is that, and then we're just going to say h. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and simplify this side by going ahead and doing the multiplication. So 1/2 times 25/2, you just multiply going across. Go ahead and solve that for me, please. 1 times 25 is 25. And then 2 times 2 is 4. So if you answered 25/4, you are correct. So 25/4 h is equal to 625/8. All right. And the key to doing algebra, every time I do a step, I rewrite the problem very neatly. And that's what you need to do. And I notice some of us don't do that. Please don't be lazy. Please do that, so that will help you out quite a bit. All right, so if I multiply 25/4 times h, what's the inverse operation that's going to eliminate that and get the h by itself? Answer that for me, please. Very good. The inverse operation is to divide. So when we divide fractions, we have to keep, change, flip. So we're going to keep the 25/4. We're going to change the operation to multiplication, and we're going to do the reciprocal, and we're going to multiply by 4/25. That's going to cancel out because 4 can be divided by 4 and 25 can be divided by 25. And so that's how we end up with the 1h. But we have to do the same thing to the other side. So we're going to multiply 4/25 on the other side as well. Okay, so before we do this, because this is going to be a huge problem, 4 times 625, 25 times 25 times 8. Let's see if we can simplify. Can we divide 4 by the same number as we can divide 8 by? What number would that be? Answer that for me, please. Very good. That answer would be 4. So I'm going to cross out the 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. And 8 divided by 4 is 2. Now, answer this for me, please. Can we divide 25 by the same number that we can divide 625 by? What would that be? Very good. That is actually 25. 25 divided by 25 is 1. Now, off to the side here, I want you to go ahead and divide 625 by 25 and tell me what that answer would be. Go ahead and solve that for me, please. Okay, so if you know your squares, you already knew this. 25 times 25 is 625. 2 times 25 is 50. We subtract that from 62, we get 12/125.
is 4 25s plus one more, which is 5. So that is going to be 25. So I'm going to go ahead and cross this out and write 25. So because we simplified first, this is going to be a lot easier to solve. 1 times 25 is 25. And then 1 times 2 is 2. So this is not the final answer. 25 halves cannot be the final answer. We have to make that back into a mixed number. So if we divided 25 by 2 and wrote the remainder as a fraction, what would that be? Go ahead and solve that for me, please. So we're going to take 25 and we're going to divide that by 2. What would the answer be? If you said 12 and 1/2, you're correct, because 1 times 2 is 2. And then, well, actually, 12 times 2 is 24. And then we get a remainder of 1. And of course, we're going to write that as a fraction. Remainder 1 divided by 2, it's going to be 12 and 1/2. So the answer is 12 and 1/2 yards is going to be the height. Please answer this question seriously with a complete sentence. What is something important to remember about how to find the area of triangles and also how to find missing dimensions? Answer thoughtfully, please. Thank you. I appreciate your time. Please come to class, ask questions. Please come to Math Help if you need more support. Thank you.